So welcome to my channel, So Simple. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to take your fabric, you're going to fold it in half. This takes about 1.5 yards of fabric. Then you take a pair of loose fitting pants. I'm working with stretch fabric, so this is also stretch. Fold it in half, and then you're going to trace around it. When you get to this point, instead of going inward, you're going to go outward all the way to the bottom, depending on how wide you want your pants to be. So this is almost, mine are going to be almost like the wide-legged pants, palazzo style. That's how I want mine. So when you get to this point, you're going to go like this, and then flare out a little bit. You flare out as much as you want. Once you do that to that side, you're going to flip your pants over this way, and you're going to do the same to this side. You're going to do the same to this side. Trace. When you get here, don't go in, go either straight down or out, depending on how wide you want your legs to be. If you noticed up here, I left extra room, okay, because I want extra space here. Now you've cut out your whole piece. This is the whole piece, and what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the sides and you're going to cut about almost an inch on one of the sides over here. Once you do that, go to your machine and sew these two pieces together. Okay, just a quick reminder, where you cut the piece, put a little mark so that you know that this is going to be the back part of your pants. So any little mark will do, a little pen mark, a pen, something to remind you that this is going to be the back part of your pants. Okay, so you've sewn both of your sides, and now you're going to take your piece and you're going to open it up this way. Now it's really beginning to look like pants. Okay, so when you do that, just line everything together. Make sure that your seams are lined up. Pin and sew the center part together. When you finish making your waistband, just you have to measure, like this is the center of the front of your pants. You have to measure the same size on both of these sides, and you're going to make a little hole. I made it small until I decide how big I want the cord to be that's going to go through the holes. So make sure you do that. Make sure you're going to make a hole that goes through both pieces on the front panel only. One hole and one hole here. This is where your cord is going to go. Okay, so I've sewn the waistband, and what I'm going to do now is I took a piece of the same fabric. I wrapped it around my waist to see how long I wanted the cord to be. This is the cord that will be put in the pants, and I'm going to sew it this way all the way down, and then I'm going to flip it inside out, and then we're going to insert it into the band. So I've sewn my belt, and I want to turn it inside out, so I just put a safety pin, and I slide the safety pin all the way through the other side. I pull it out of the other side, and the belt will be the right side. Then what you do with the same safety pin, you use that to put the belt through the loop on your pants, and that should be it. This is pretty long, so it's taking me a while to get it through there, but basically that's the idea with the safety pin. It's the easiest way to turn something inside out. Once you've sewn it, So I'm going to finish that, and then I'm going to show you how to put it. Oh, actually I might as well just continue. Okay, now with the same pin, you're going to take the little hole that you made, and you're going to put the pin through the hole, and you're going to slide the belt through all the way around the waistline until it comes out of the other hole that you made. Okay, so do that, and we are almost done with this part. And now that your belt is in, just take the ends and fold it like this. Tie it up in a knot on each corner. Now you could go ahead and do the hem. Measure, make sure that it's the length that you want it, and do the hem. At this point, you already completed a pair of yoga pants, or depending on the fabric, you could use it as pajama pants, loungewear pants. If you have some really fancy fabric, you could use it even to go out. So you're done if that's all you want to do with these. But if you want to continue, what you have to do is you take a piece of fabric, you wrap it around yourself with the pants on, because you want to make sure that you know where your waist is going to be and where the top part of your outfit is going to be. Okay, so with the pants on, you're going to wrap a piece of fabric around yourself. Make sure that when you cut out that fabric, that you leave enough space for the attaching to the pants on the bottom and enough space on the top for a casing for your elastic. So you have to measure your elastic and make sure that you leave enough space on the top to put the elastic. So what you do now with that piece that you just wrapped around yourself and that you've cut, leaving both extra spaces, you're going to put that piece together and you're going to sew it together. Okay, so you're going to sew. Once you sew there, you're going to do the casing for your elastic. So you fold your fabric like this, and you're going to sew around. Make sure that you measure your elastic, and you're going to sew around and just leave a space of about 1 inch, so that when you finish sewing the casing, you could insert your elastic in the casing. This is what it looks like so far. I took my piece, I sewed it together, make it one piece like this, and then I made my casing for the elastic, and I left a little space right here so that I could insert my elastic in that through that space. Okay, I find it easier for those of you that want to continue with the rest of this project, that you're gonna have to remove the belt that you've put in your pants, and we'll be putting that back in later. But for now, I'm just taking the knot out and I'm removing my belt so that it's easier for me to sew the top part of it. Okay, this is the part that gets a little tricky. You take the top part, here's your casing for your elastic. It's with the wrong side out. Your pants are in the right side out. This is the front of your pants. Where you sewed the top piece together, that's going to be the back part. You're going to take your pants and you're going to slide them in to the top like this. And once they're in there, you're going to line up the back seam. The back seam of your pants are going to be lined up with the back seam of your top, like this. Okay, so that is nice and neat. line it up and pin in the four corners first, just so that it's easier, so everything falls into place. Once you finish pinning the four corners, go ahead and pin the rest. Put a lot of pins all around, because you're going to sew these two pieces together. The one thing for you to remember, which is very important, is that when you're pinning, pin as close to the edge as possible, because remember that you have the little holes that you need to be able to put your band back in there. So go ahead and do that. Pin all around at the edge, and then go to your machine and sew all around that area. When you're done, it should, and you flip it over, it should be like this, the pieces together. So to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now the next step is take your elastic, attach the safety pin to it, and go to the spot that you left open for it, and you're going to slide your elastic through the top. Okay, so once you get your elastic all the way through, what you're going to do is you're going to take, you're going to line them up like this, on top, one on top of the other. Go to your machine, sew that, sew it a few times so it's nice and sturdy, and then once you sew that, put it back into the casing like this, and then you have to sew that opening that you left open, sew that shut. Take your cord and put it back inside your pants, and you're done. So